Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, you know what? We always like listening to other technology podcasts, and I found one that I think is phenomenal.
Would that be Trending Tech by any chance?
That is. We've talked about it a couple times, haven't we? Expert analysis of the new technology impacting global business. And we got an ad for them, and we would love all of our TechTime radio listener fans to join in and listen.
If you ever wondered how technology is changing all our lives, you're going to love the Trending Tech podcast. Because lately we've covered starlings that help create high-speed networks and horses that can train execs to be better leaders. We've seen what augmented reality looks like through next-gen contact lenses. Did you know artificial intelligence is changing your shopping experience right now, and healthcare, and even Audi cars? We learned recently that Amazon is playing games with its warehouse workers. And while many of us now prefer working from home, a top telecom network tells us businesses are facing a deluge of attempted frauds. So check out the Trending Tech podcast at trendingtech.io. It's critical, but not all serious.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, have you heard of Thousand Fell?
Yeah, that's the company that's redesigning sustainability for the next generation, starting with a fully circular sneaker.
That's correct. Each pair combines thoughtful design with modern and sustainable sourced material, making them durable, comfortable, and recyclable. 97% of sneakers end up in a landfill.
We're not okay with that. Join the movement at www.thousandfell.com. Use the promo code TechTime21 to get $21 off your first order. Every pair of Thousand Fell purchase comes with a $20 recycling credit towards your next purchase, making it easier than ever to skip a trip to the landfill.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest. Keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. The way David had us going, we were ending our show right now. He played the wrong intro.
I know.
That's hilarious.
No,
I did. I just put it in the wrong spot.
You just put it in the wrong spot. Let me tell you, now I spent a lot of time on the back end making sure that those spots are correctly, so we're gonna have to.
Okay.
We're gonna have to ding him later. I don't know why, but that's okay. He did a good job
He's fixing to give you a salute.
That's right. Oh, the one finger comes up. Look at that. All righty. Oh,
you got the whole arm.
Here you go.
You
Right
got the
here.
whole arm.
I got the whole arm thing.
Yeah, there you go.
That's isn't that an English gesture?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I still get
think
the
that-
point. All right, welcome to Tech Time Radio. This is hour 2 of our 2-hour technology show. If you're catching us on Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., then you're catching us live. If you're not, then you're catching a rebroadcast, or as they call it in the industry, an encore episode. That just means it's being replayed. But
Are you serious?
Yeah, that is the industry term. It's encore.
Encore.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Isn't that what you guys call it, David?
Yeah, it is called an encore.
Yeah, that just means
But I got to fire back after you smashed me, although I deserved it.
No.
Okay.
Well, we'll get you. We'll get you. We love you here, buddy. It's okay. It's all right. Go to your safe corner, and we'll talk to you later. All right. Well, welcome to hour 2 on the technology show. Today, we're going to be talking about our funny letters that we have, spam emails and scams that are sent to us. We got Microsoft back in the 1990s, and we have Phil Hennessy that will be joining us. Hennessy. Oh, I said Hennessy.
You've said that every single time.
Hennessy. No, it's Phil Hennessy. We talked yesterday. We talked about tiny homes. I got lots of questions because I may have just bought in 2 containers this weekend because of family issues about that are crazy. So I may
You'll
be doing
need
that.
one of those tidy homes, I think.
I will. I'm going to have to end up moving my mom out there. All right. Well, welcome to the second hour of Tech Time Radio.
Shopping container.
That's you know what? If you build
put her in a pod.
if you have 2 of them on top, is that like a 2-story? How do you sell a 2-story
Yeah, that's a 2-story
container?
pod.
Okay, so you put stairs inside of it.
Sure.
Does that
a
increase
ladder,
the value?
Little
A stick ladder. You
little
call it?
a little tiny elevator pad at the very back.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
a
there
little
you go.
dumb waiter, and you have someone sit on it, and you go on
Sure,
the other side.
why
Okay.
not?
All right, here we go. Welcome to Tech Time Radio. We got a lot of stuff to cover for this hour, and we're having a great time. Our first hour was phenomenal. If you did not catch it, please go to techtimeradio.com and watch hour 1 of episode 63. We're on episode 63.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's good that you can count that.
I can, and then after that, 64, and then 65.
Very
and
good.
66.
Captain
Now
Obvious.
do it in Spanish.
Here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not from 4 to 6. There you go.
Is that one you can't watch? You have to watch the rebroadcast, right?
That's right.
All right. Well, we're going to move on. If you would like to call us on the show, we will put you on the show, but not today because we are full. But if you did call, it would be 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-KKNW-5569, and then we would put you on the show, and you can ask us a technology question. But if you have a great technology question you want asked, go to TechTime Radio. In the top right-hand corner, it says ask a question or be on the show, and you can actually ask us a question, and we will actually get you on the show to ask that question live. That'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Now we're moving into, of course, how we start each of our second hour segments. And this is with our partners, the Love Shack. David, when does Love Shack air on KKNW?
Let's hope I don't mess this one up. You can listen to Love Shack live every Thursday afternoon from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time right here on AM 1150 KKNW.
That's perfect.
He's been practicing.
He's got that down to this. All right, here's our question that we're going to ask everybody. Are you a night owl or an early riser? Oh, this is just set up for you. This is like slam dunk.
Yeah.
Mike, are you a night owl or an early riser?
I'm a night owl.
You're a night owl?
I am.
Is it all about the owl?
I have always been a night owl.
So what time do you normally go to bed?
I go to bed anywhere from 1 to 3, somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. What time do you wake up early too?
On the weekdays, I wake up at 7.
Wow. Okay. All right. David, we'll go to you next. Night owl or early riser?
Is there an option C? Can you be both?
Well,
No,
you could be. You could be a night owl and an early riser, which means that you're going to die sooner. I heard
It
that
depends
study.
on what day of the week it is for me, pretty much.
Okay, today, Saturday. What did you do to Saturday?
Saturday would be normally a night owl, although, fall ball is going to start next month, so it'll probably be early riser and night owl.
At the same time? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty much. It just depends on what day of the week it is.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So I'm a night owl.
No, you're not.
What do you mean?
You are not a night owl.
I'm not a night owl. No, I consider myself a night owl.
Yeah, you consider yourself wrong.
Why is that? Why would you say I'm not a night
Dude,
owl?
you're sleep drunk by 10 p.m. Well, at 10 p.m., you're like, I don't even know what I'm even talking about. That's how you sound.
Was that when I play Sea of Thieves with you? You're telling me that at
Yeah.
like 10 o'clock I just
At 10
go in the
o'clock,
zone?
at 10 o'clock, you are hitting a wall, buddy.
No, maybe I'm just very much concentrating on the game at that time.
No, there's a difference between concentrating and sleeping at the wheel.
Keep telling yourself that.
Okay, so I guess I'm an early riser then.
I think you're probably a lark.
What's a lark?
That would be the opposite of a night owl.
A night owl? Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Maybe you know what? I do sometimes get up early. I get up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning every morning.
Yeah, I have. See, that's the problem with being a night owl because I have to get up early on the weekdays.
Yep.
If I didn't, I would normally sleep until about 10 o'clock in the morning.
So you just are still on your college schedule, right? So you're
I
just
have
on
never. I haven't. I've always, even as a little kid, I was always staying up late and watching remember horror movies.
Yeah.
After midnight.
Yep.
On Channel 13.
Yep, KCPQ.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
well, I don't know. That's
That was
what it was.
that was
here.
up here.
I was in Arizona, but yeah, I've always been a night owl ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I'm a true night owl.
It's all
meaning
about the owl.
my circadian rhythms.
Cool. I really like the owl.
Mike likes the owl.
That's right.
That's
my
right.
circadian rhythms are that way. My brain is the most active between 10 p.m. and midnight.
Hey, actually, that's when you're shooting cannons pretty well on the ship.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'll agree with you on that.
I'm not slurring my words and trying to figure out what's going on. What?
Hey now, be nice to me now. Come on now. All right. Well, you know what? Let's move on to our first segment. And this segment we call letters.
Letters, we get letters. We get back and back of letters. Ah, letters, we get letters. And the letters all have songs.
All right, our letter segment. This is where we read spam and phishing emails sent to me during the week. This is one of our favorite segments. People love this. Now, what's interesting, though, is we're going to end up probably moving this to every other week.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We did at the production meeting. So if you join us the first hour, you'll see some of the people that talked about it. We're actually going to add probably more of our back-to-school type deals. So one week, we're going to have all these good computer IT deals that are available, and then the following week, we'll do letters so that you can't sometimes you have too much of a good thing and you don't appreciate it at the same time. If you have a good,
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
well, let's say you have a good cheesecake, right?
Yeah, I will have that same good cheesecake until it's all gone.
So, of course, we're men. You know what? And we
That's
can have
right.
the same meal every day for lunch. And you know what? And then my wife's like, oh, don't you want a little bit of variety? No, I'm fine. And we're going to be talking about that on the Microsoft segment 1990s because it is so exciting what happens in 1998 that I'm so excited to share that.
All right.
Okay. And I'll tell you what I get every
Get to the
single
letter,
day.
man. Get to the
All right,
letter.
letters. Number one, Norton LifeLock. Thank you for your payment. Order received on Tuesday, August 24, 2021. Let me tell you, Norton LifeLock is the last tool I would ever use to purchase to protect my identity.
But why?
Because it's like the worst. So if I'm going to do that, I'll use this company called Xander. So Norton LifeLock is horrible. But all of a sudden, I get an invoice here from NWS 9763K for $699, and Jack Sean at Andy Dividend 76AD at gmail.com sent me this email.
Well, nice
so it
for
must
him.
be legit.
It's got to be.
But guess what? If I didn't want to pay for this, I can click on the link right here to get reimbursed for the next 15 days.
Wow, they give me a 15-day
window.
15-day window
to get my $699.40. Who creates the 40 cents person?
I don't.
What's that person? We don't want to do $699.
That's some jerk who's like, hey, don't just do it like a straight
zero.
Add some cents.
It should have been 41 then. It should have added an addition.
No, it should have been 97 cents or 99.
There you go.
Or 49 cents.
49 cents. So you'd
because
have that
those are the ones. Those are the ones.
The Walmart numbers.
Yes.
So
yeah.
That's a
good way of putting Walmart numbers.
Yeah, at the end of stuff okay. So that was it. So Norton LifeLock. No, I did not sign up for you. No, I'm not clicking on your list. No, I'm not clicking on your 15-day return policy to get my $699 back. All right. You're up next there, buddy.
All right. So this is payment remittance at eeservices.com.
Okay.
This is where it's from.
Okay.
And the email address is info@schoo.jp. Shoe.
Okay.
Skew. I don't know what that means.
Okay. At gmail.com or
at it's just .jp.
Oh, it's .jp. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just a simple thing that says you have received a new note from no reply at eeservices.com.
And they want me to reply to that because if I reply to say, what is this about? Then guess what they know?
They know it's an active email.
That's correct.
But it's
what's that?
They're using your company name saying you got a new note at no reply.
Correct.
So somebody supposedly replied to a no reply email.
That's what they're thinking, but they don't realize that there's just very limited people that work at EE Services. So they're hoping EE Services has like 40, 50 employees. So that I would think that it would be like, oh, okay, I have to click on it.
Well, info@school.jp.
Yeah.
You failed.
Yeah. He
failed.
All right, my next one right here. This is a funny one. This is from Destiny Card Info at newsletter@dowtil.gmail.com. All right.
Dawdle.
Destiny offers all the benefits of a MasterCard without a security deposit. Ask for a Destiny MasterCard today. No longer do you need to have your credit taken care of by the big three. We will take care of you with a Destiny card today. Pre-qualify now by clicking on the link. And with a $500 deposit, you too can have your own credit card today with no credit issues.
Wait.
What?
Doesn't the first part of that email say you don't have to have a deposit and it's a Destiny MasterCard?
So it says it's a Destiny MasterCard, but then it says that I don't need to have one of the three major credit cards.
But that's what MasterCard is.
Well,
if it's a Destiny MasterCard, then...
Well, now it's telling me that I don't need to, and no matter what my credit is, I could still just get the Destiny card.
But you have to give them $500.
With a $500 deposit, I can have a credit card.
It says you don't need a deposit to do it?
Well, yeah, but it's hoping that I don't read through everything here and that I would just click on it and decide.
Wow, that's very sophisticated.
It was very sophisticated.
Somebody.
I tried to pre-qualify, but they wouldn't. Did
you click?
No, I didn't click on this one.
Oh, okay.
No, this is like dumb criminal number one. I'm like, yeah, I'm not clicking. All right,
yeah.
You're up next.
All right. This is from Charles Jackson.
Make sure you're talking the mic there with your relax boil.
Am I not talking
you're not
the right way direction?
A little bit further away. Okay,
right,
there you go.
Let me get really close.
Okay.
We'll tone it down and I'll have some Savassier with it.
All right.
All right, this is from Charles Jackson at jin@co.jp. Maybe they're related to that other one.
Maybe.
Yeah, the subject is donation. Your email account was selected for a donation of $3,500,000 for charity.
Oh, wow.
Please contact Charles Jackson to claim your donation. Are you a charity?
No. I mean, I'd love to think that I'm a charity, but no, I'm not a charity. But
somebody is giving $3.5 million to a charity, apparently, and your email address was attached to that charity.
And what email address was it sent to?
It was sent to your Nathan Mumm at Hotmail.
So, Nathan Mumm at Hotmail. What part of Nathan Mumm at Hotmail.com sounds like a charity?
Nathan Mumm.
Nathan Mumm. Okay, I got it. So clearly, it was not a charity.
But
I did actually respond to this guy.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, what did you say?
And I said, I'm so excited about this. Please let me know. And I gave him some random email address at yahoo.com. So whoever Travis K is, poor guy, Travis K at yahoo.com. That is who I send everybody to. I don't know who that person is.
So you're scamming back the scammers with somebody else's email?
I do. Travis K at
Way to go, dude.
So I don't know who it is, but I think it's a live email address because when I ever sign up for any of these, poor Travis K at yahoo.com always is the
He's going to listen to this. He's going to find you. He's going to come here.
Okay.
And
we'll talk about it. We'll say, why do I use Travis K at yahoo.com? That was just what I did back in 1997.
So you've been doing this since 1997? Poor Travis.
Yeah, I know. Poor Travis K. That Travis K.
I don't know what's worse, the scammers that are scamming you or the response to Travis that you're giving them back.
I don't know. All right.
That's terrible.
Well, that's not terrible. That's kind of funny. Poor Travis K.
That is kind of funny. But
all right. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come on back, we got an expert that will be joining our show on the Ask the Expert segment. We're going to have Phil Hennessy that will be here from MorpheusTEK. He is going to be talking to us about tiny homes technology and how we can put cool technology in a tiny home. I'm going to need to know about this because I got some containers coming to my house. So I'm going to figure out how we can make it.
Your split-level pod.
That's my split-level pod. I'll be living out here soon, and that will be my retirement home. So we're going to find out what I could put in my containers. Now, let me just tell you, when you buy a container, you want to make sure you buy the one-trip container. We'll talk a little bit about that.
How much does a container cost?
That's about $6,000.
Hey, that's not bad.
It's not. And then if you buy a round-trip one container, you're guaranteed that it's probably not going to leak. Now, if you get 2, 3, 4, or 5, your container may be a little bit beat up, but you can always get sealer and put it on the very top of it like you would in an RV, and your container is still sealed from the weather.
So for $6,000, I can have a home, huh?
You could.
Okay.
And then you can fit it with some cool technology we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, maybe a little dumbwaiter at the back, so your little chairlift or something for your
to go. Well, you know what? Maybe Phil has a little self-propelled elevator system that I could go to the second level.
Yeah, there you go. A spring.
There you Boing! All right. We're going to take a commercial break. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. We'll see you guys right after this.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
That's the good music. I like this music track.
Yeah, that's good music.
A little bit of alcohol in you. You can sit on the porch and sip some of this. It'd be perfect, right?
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Hey, just so you know, just during that last commercial break, I did a little research. Your friend Travis K.
Travis K at Yahoo that I
your friend. He actually works for FireEye.
Look at David.
That was messed up.
That's messed up.
That's
David.
messed up, David.
That's right. So he works for Fire Eyes. No
Have you been hitting our whiskey?
Yeah,
buddy?
he's got he must have a bottle over there. That's fine.
He's been sneaking some drinks or something.
Oh, that's funny, David. That may be poor Travis King.
Works for Fire Eyes.
What am I?
No wonder they're trying to hack crap out of your.
That poor guy. He's like, I'm at this person, this Nathan person.
Yeah, that's actually him that's hacking your website.
That's right. Maybe it's him instead of Fire Eye, and he's just using their address. Yeah. All right. Well, okay.
Yeah,
welcome.
there you go.
Welcome back. Hopefully you guys decided to call the show. If you did, we're not answering the phones today, but if you did, we would have answered it right now, and we would talk about you. For those that are making fun of me on twitch.tv, thank you very much. Yes, this shirt is exactly in style if you're somebody in your mid-50s.
If you're Fred Flintstone.
If I'm Fred Flintstone.
Flintstone!
That's right, yeah.
All right, okay, let's move on to our next.
Bowling shirts have ever been in style.
Oh, they always are in style.
Yeah, in a bowling alley.
You know what? I make this shirt look good. Okay.
Wrong answer.
Let's start our next segment.
You live in an interesting world.
That's right. I called Ask the Expert.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
All right, we're bringing on our expert, Phil Hennessy from MorpheusTEK. He is joining us, and he's going to talk to us all about tiny homes. What's the most effective possible way to make sure that you can have your tiny home have technology today? Now, Phil, thank you so much. We talked on Friday, yesterday, so we talked about this in... What's that?
That's good that you know that.
Well, I've been drinking a little bit of whiskey, so I'm just trying to remember everything of what we got.
Uh-huh.
So we talked on it, and this is something that Phil's been spending a lot of research on. So essentially, Phil contacts me. We say, hey, you're going to be on the show probably about once a month, and hey, can you work on this type of articles? And then he does all the research, and it saves me so much time.
Should we ask him the most important question right now?
What's the most important question?
What whiskey are you drinking today?
Are you drinking some whiskey, Phil?
I am not drinking whiskey tonight. Next time I will make sure I'm drinking something.
It's a dry night. He's a dry night. So
okay.
he's trying to stay there.
Well, tiny homes will do that too.
That's right. Okay, so now if I wanted to buy, I'm host because I'm actually doing this right now. I'm actually buying containers, Phil. And so I'm going to actually have a container. Either they're going to both be flat in my back area, or I may have a 2-story container. So having this tiny house, this may be where I live the rest of my life if my wife gets mad at me. So I want to decorate.
She's always mad at you, isn't she?
No, she's not. No, poor Tracy. No, she's great. She puts up with a lot.
Long suffering.
That's right.
Is a term that.
What is the first thing? If I was going to own a tiny home and I wanted to put some technology in, what's the very first thing I should do in a tiny home?
Well, actually, it's not about technology, which is really interesting when I did the research. It's about the psychological thought process of the type of person that wants to live in that tiny home.
Okay, so what type of person?
Oh, please tell me about that.
Well, I'm not going to, Mike, you're going to have to help with that part of it. But really, tiny spaces can cause psychological problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because when the environment is cluttered or there's a lot of other things around, or you're in the same room all the time, and your furniture is all around you, it doesn't change. You can't go to a separate space. You can get depressed. There's a study shown that high uses of abuse of substance and domestic violence also. So what was really interesting, is that what do we need to do with technology to help assure that you're organized, it feels like you're in a different space, and these other things to help have better well-being for the person.
Okay. So if I was to live in a tiny house, I totally get that. What's the first thing I should do technology-wise, or maybe to make it so that I can have that?
You need to get on Prozac.
Prozac. Okay.
I mean, there's really it's what do you want, right? I mean, and how big? I mean, we're talking about tiny apartments or tiny homes that are 60 to 400 square foot, or small apartments or other homes 800 to 1,000 square foot. So there's 2 new companies coming out right now that have a lot of technology with robotics, can organize you better or move your beds down below, and it raises up into the ceiling. So then your space becomes from a bedroom to an office, and your kitchenette is off to the side. There's other technologies that if you want to, if you're in a really, really small space, you could also have a modular kitchen or a movable kitchen even that moves your washer and your other things around and makes it a closed space. So it's really, what do you want first? So I would say is do you need to have an area that separates, or can you have everything together and buy different organizing pieces of furniture that you can just have around with you, or do you need stuff out of your eyesight? So it really is, again, what do you want as part of that? And there's technologies to do that. It's from, the flat screen TVs to this robotics furniture that you can move around, and we can talk more about that.
So let's talk about the furniture.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to have this space, and I would say I'd probably be 800 square feet to 1,000 square feet. I think that's how long one of the containers is. I don't know, but I'm guessing that. So I got we'll use 800 to 1,000 square feet. All right. So now I know people live in RVs, and I have an RV, and I think our RV is about 800 square feet. And I know people live in that all the time. So I should, in my opinion, if I can live in an RV, I should be able to live in a tiny house. So if I want to maximize my space, and I have tall height here, so I got 2 stories, right? So I had this tiny house on my containers. I got about 12 feet up into the higher rafters of the second level.
Right.
What can I do to suspend stuff and do some furniture?
There's two really cool companies out there. One is ORI, Ori Buildings, and the other one is Bumble Space Furniture. Okay. Bumblebee Furniture. And Bumblebee has everything in the ceiling. And so you have, say, your bed, and then your desk, and then your chest of drawers, or all your different clothes drawers and everything are all in the ceiling. So when you want your bed to come down, you have an app. Okay. And you say, okay, it's time for sleep. Your bed comes down. It locks in. I can go to sleep. I want to get dressed next morning. Okay, I get up, put my bed up, boom, it goes away. And then I want to get my clothes down to go get dressed. I can look in the app and see which of my drawers in the ceiling have my clothes that I want to wear that day, or my watch, or whatever else. And it's actually searchable. You can see in the app what's what in the ceiling.
So this is kind of like the Jetsons.
No, and then when you're gone to work, it turns into Bumblebee and goes and fights the Decepticons.
No.
Look, there's Bumblebee.com.
Okay. So
Transformers, man.
So I used to watch the Jetsons though. So this sounds like Jetsons, right?
Yeah,
so,
this is Jetsons.
So when you would go on in there into the bedroom scene or whatever, and they said, "Hey, could clothes come down?" You would see the Jetsons deal come on down, and they change in their clothes, and then it goes back up again. So is this using that concept? Do you actually look up and you see it just kind of suspending there? Or how does
it's in looks like large drawers or wooden cases, right? It comes down, and then you go into the top of it and you get out what you want, and you hit your app again, and it goes back up again. And it has, it's trying to detect to make sure there's nobody around when it comes down to hurt people or those types of things. So it has AI in there. It has, robotics logic in there, and in terms of it's in the cloud, or those types of things. So it's
This is some really cool technology here.
That does sound so let me
and the other one is ORI Furniture, and that one's out of MIT. This first one, Bumblebee, is a startup out of California. The other one's out of MIT. Okay. And what that one does, it doesn't necessarily, the bed comes out of the ceiling, the same idea, and some of the other but the other furniture is all sliding based on racks. So your bed will slide out of the bottom of like a TV holder. And then it'll slide back in. What was really interesting when I watched that video is like the guy didn't make the bed in the morning. He just hit the button, and then the whole bed went away. He didn't have to make the bed. I was like, that's great. I love it.
Okay. So
you still have to wash your dishes.
So let me ask you this.
Yes, unfortunately.
If I buy IKEA furniture, can I use this system, or do I have to buy the furniture from them? Because I'm a real cheap guy in my tiny home, right? So I got my tiny home.
If you're buying IKEA, never mind.
Well, I just I go buy.
But IKEA has the standard Murphy bed, right?
Yeah,
so they have the manual stuff, right? So if you want to go manual and go cheap, Nathan, go ahead. I thought you were a tech guy, so hey, it's all right.
So you have so it has to be all one part.
It's tech specific.
So I can't just plug that sensor into
you're
the
tech
existing.
Specific.
That's right. So so it sounds like this is all incorporated. So you have the sensors, you have the devices. So let me ask you the most important, do they have a king size bed? Because I hate my RV. My RV has a queen size bed, and I like a king. So I literally had someone come on in and modify my deal so they could cut out the drawer that was next to it, so I could almost have like a king size bed on my RV.
See that? There you go.
So is there a king size bed?
I honestly don't know. I didn't read about their size of bed, to be quite honest. So I couldn't tell you.
I'm going to have
but
to.
I'm sure if you wanted to pay, you could get it. Right?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you could get a king size bed that goes into your ceiling and comes down and doesn't bash your...
That is kind of a cool idea, though, if you think of that, right? So I just go office. I walk outside. I get a cup of coffee in my all-natural whatever coffee maker that doesn't use any electricity, and then I come back in, and then all of a sudden my office is there.
Yeah, that's an excellent.
All right, so
you still have to keep yourself clean, though. You have to actually wash the dishes and sweep the floors and...
So how do you do a shower? How do you do a shower on this? How do you do a shower on this? You probably don't have a portable shower that's hanging up there.
No. The showers are separate. Yeah, just a separate little bathroom. So your kitchen and your bathroom are there, and then you're making that other space into either your home office or your bed or your dining room for entertaining or those types of things. And there's all these other types of normal type of, let's say, just researching different type of furnitures out there now, and the modularity and the multifunction furniture now. Some of it's really high end. There's some really cool tables out of Germany that go against the side of the wall. They're like looks like 5 shelves, and you're wheeled out, flip it over, and it's a table then. And then when you're done, you flip it back, and it looks like shelves again. I mean, there's some really cool things neat that they're doing out there.
All right. Okay. So now let's talk about TVs, because TVs are important to me, right? So if I have a TV here, do I just buy myself a cheap Costco TV and put on a swing arm and hopefully I can put it in the corner, or is there spots that are something unique that I can do with the TVs?
Well, there's two different. One, just exactly that, right? I mean, they're so flat nowadays and all of that type of thing. And you have the arms, or there's, they do have ones that come up out of the piece of furniture, and slide back down again. So again, what are you looking for and how expensive? But a lot of them, they're showing the TV just as part of the wall, and then it doesn't move or has the arm. But there are other options where you can go ahead and have it hide in another piece of furniture and come up and down, so you can change it into a work office.
I used to work for a billionaire.
Puzzle house.
Yeah, so I used to work for a billionaire. I won't say which billionaire I worked for, but I used for a billionaire. And at the end of his beds, he had all of his televisions. And
did they come up and go down?
Yes, they did at the base of the bed. So they would essentially come on up, and you could see it at the base of the bed, and then it would fall back down. And let me just tell you, those motor arms, back then we were having 70-plus inch TVs, and those things were heavy. And those, if one of those motor arms gets stuck, that's like the worst case scenario. It's just stuck 3/4 of the way up there. You can't really watch the TV. See, and that was a real problem.
Yeah, that's the problem with all this technology going into these tiny homes, is that eventually something's going to break. So your bed may be like suspended halfway up.
Yeah.
At some point, and you're going to have to.
It comes down from the ceiling, and that'll
be really depressing.
the front two pulleys are all the way down, and the top is there. So you're like, sleeping in a New York apartment.
That's one of those oh my god moments.
All right, let's talk about computers, right? So if I'm a big gaming person and I want to have a nice computer setup, what can I do for tiny home computers?
Well, it's just your laptops. I mean, your high-end gaming laptops and those types of things. I mean, that's really where it comes down to, is that the office space will be modular and move up and down for you, and then you're going to put your laptop on it, those types of things. So it's really more about that the technology has changed. You're not doing towers anymore. Like in the 90s, when you guys talk about Microsoft and that type of stuff, we're talking now about, laptops and Chrome pads and, Chromebooks and all that kind of thing, that it's just part of you, a part of us as we're computing nowadays.
And if you're living off the grid, you're going to try to get Starlink.
You're not living off the grid if you have a gaming computer.
That's a whole different thing. I mean, again, is it a mobile home that's off the grid, or are you on the grid? I mean, that gets into a whole different discussion, because then if you're off the grid, are you going to do wind power and some solar power? To do that, then you make sure you want to have like you said, a satellite dish for your internet. That's going to be one of the key things you need to have to do all that nowadays, with everybody wanting, internet connection. So that's would be a challenge for people that are trying to go off grid versus, you're still on your property.
Yeah, no, there's no way. I got gig internet from Comcast. There's not a chance I'm going out in the middle of no man's land.
Off the grid for you means
10 feet to the left.
Yeah, 10 feet to the left
of my garage.
Yeah, that's off the grid.
That's right. All right. Okay. So what would be, out of your research, what's the best, coolest thing if you're going to put in a tiny home before we end our segment here? What is the coolest thing that you found?
I like the Bumblebee furniture technology. I mean, it's pretty amazing for a small space, 800, 500 square foot space. You can really make it multifunctional, and it goes back to the well-being piece. You can keep it organized and functional. I really like it. I think that's the way to go for in the future, because you can have a small space. And I think one of the stats I read is that 66% of the population of the world will be living in big cities by 2050.
Wow,
so
that's scary.
I mean, so with that stat, this type of technology is, and especially from the well-being, COVID has told us that when we're going to be home a lot, we need to have social interaction. We need to have a nice space for us, right? So as we're home all the time. So I think that these technologies are really going to help.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, Phil, well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to have to get with you offline here a little bit, because I may have to actually do some improvements if I'm going to build this little tiny home area. I want it to be the best, coolest tiny home. And on the third level, do you make a third level on top of your containers above?
In your life, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Are you starting your design now?
Yeah, I'm going to have to, because I got to get these things ordered.
Now he's thinking about, I need 4 containers instead of 2.
Well, what if you make a little crossover? All right, we're going to go to a commercial break.
A trail.
That's right. We're going to have to take a break. When we come on back, we have Microsoft in the 1990s segment series 3 of 5 now. It was a 1 to 3 part series, and now we're we can't get enough through. So we got hopefully 20 minutes or so to talk about some cool items that we're going to be talking about in our return. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Micro Day, David behind the board. See you after this.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Hey, babe, I hear that you can download a new voice on Siri.
No way.
Yes, it's true. It's a voice that goes, hey, you big hunk. What do you want to do and where do you want to go?
Stop it.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm kidding.
What has tech ever done for our relationships?
We can't talk about that on the radio.
If you want to eavesdrop on juicy conversations that no one is having around all things love, sex, and relationships, join us right here, 1 p.m. on KKNW and wherever you get your podcast.
We look forward to seeing you in the Love Shack.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
The year is 1998. The FBI announces the creation of a major unit to fight cybercrimes, from hackers stealing money to terrorists trying to shut down urban power grids. Microsoft announces that it will add 2 new Actimates learning system characters to its product lineup. Mark Brown's Arthur and Arthur's little sister DW will be introduced at Toy Fair. Now, on the same day, Microsoft Corporation's board of directors approves a 2-for-1 split of its common shares. Shortly after, on May 18th, Microsoft received some bad news. The U.S. Justice Department and 20 state attorney generals file an antitrust suit against Microsoft, charging the company with abusing its market power to thwart competition. Despite the bad news, life goes on for the company. Windows 98 is made available in more than 40 countries worldwide and from more than 12,000 retail outlets in North America. 2 weeks later, on July 21st, Bill Gates appoints Steve Ballmer president of Microsoft. Days after Ballmer's promotion, Microsoft and a group of leading African-American scholars begin to collaborate on Microsoft Encarta Africana, a comprehensive multimedia reference resource on the history, geography, and culture of Africa and people of African descent. 2 months later, Microsoft introduces its first telephone, the Microsoft Cordless phone system. This phone uses the power of the PC to deliver unprecedented flexibility and ease for customizing call management and message services.
The big question, will Microsoft be allowed to ship its new operating system, Windows 98, as is with the Internet accessories?
With a trial underway, Microsoft announces the next major release of the Windows NT line of products, Windows 2000. The name change signals the evolution of Windows NT technology into mainstream use in November. Microsoft hits one final milestone on December 7th when Microsoft Project passes the 3 millionth customer mark. Now, this helps the corporation reach a 1998 fiscal year-end sales totaling of $14,480 million, while the employee headcount now grows to more than 27,000 people. 1998 has been another wildly profitable year for Microsoft, but 1999 will bring even more growth and a resolution to the antitrust trial.
Nice.
There you go.
So it's 1998, right?
It is.
All right. So some other things that are going on then is Jesse Ventura is elected governor of Minnesota.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that?
I do.
Titanic is the highest grossing film of all time.
I've never watched that movie.
Okay, that's okay. Sinatra died.
Okay. Oh, did he really?
Yep.
Okay.
82 years old. And Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is published in the United States.
Oh, that's a big deal then, huh?
Yeah. Then we got technologically, we have American Airlines is first airline to offer electronic ticketing in all 44 countries it serves.
That was big. So do you understand that in 1998, before that, you would have paper tickets, right? You'd have to go and get paper tickets. Now, all of a sudden, 1998 comes on, and you can actually print out electronic ticketing from email. And now look at what we have today. Most of the time, I board
everything's
a plane.
on a phone.
It's on an app.
Yep.
I have like a Alaska Airlines app. I go on up, and I don't even have printout tickets. I can still print them out from home. I don't even know if they issue paper tickets anymore.
Yep. No, they do.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said this is when things started to get interesting.
So this is interesting in my life.
What's going on here at Microsoft here? We heard a few things like the antitrust thing and Windows 98 and blah, blah, blah.
So Windows 98 is like the biggest OS because Windows 95 kind of fell flat. It was a brand new idea, but there was a lot of limits by the drivers you could use and you could run in the machines itself. So it was pretty archaic. It's still like
it was
Windows
like
for
black
working.
and white.
Yeah, so it was like black and white.
It was like gray.
And Windows 98 came on out. Essentially, it's the same version that Windows 95 was, but they essentially fixed a lot of issues, a lot of problems. Antitrust is really big at Microsoft, right? So all of us Microsoft people are like, how can you say we have a monopoly? Look at the Macintosh world. And we were all like, how dare you say that? And so we were all
You were incensed?
Yes.
Maybe a little outraged?
We were outraged. And you know, the 2-for-1 stock
game. Oh, we didn't talk about that.
That's play your board game on the first hour.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
That's all right. Okay. So I was in executive support. So I was working at this building called Imperial Square, which was off campus to Microsoft. So it was about...
I was in Redmond.
It was in Redmond. And so it was about a 4-minute drive to get onto the campus. And I was working in executive support. So there's 3 of us. I replaced a guy by the name of tree, and so I replaced him.
Tree?
A tree, yeah. So he was
a little wooden.
No, no, that's funny. No.
Bang.
So he was a Asian descent tech that was really, really good, and so I was working and filling in from this group called the SSG group, and I essentially took the full-time job into SSG at the very, very end of the year of 1997. So 1998, I am now working upstairs. There's a 2-story building in Imperial Square with Keith, myself, and a guy by the name of James, or Jim is what we call him. His real name was James, but Jim. And so the three of us were supporting everybody with a VP title and above and their admins in taking care of stuff. Now, I have a couple of my reviews here. So we are using this tool called Congo. That's what we're doing because I have my old reviews here that I have. And Congo just replaced Call Tracker. It's a ticketing system. And we all hated Call Tracker until Congo came out. And then once Congo? Yeah, the call tracking system was horrible. We didn't want to track our tickets. Call Tracker was so much better, which was handwritten. Why are we changing?
Why do we got to do that?
I'm taking a look here at some other notes. I am actually at that time working on NT4 and NT5, which becomes Windows 2000. And essentially the company has Windows 98, but it wants to move to this corporate level. And Windows NT was an operating system that competed with Windows 98. It wasn't as user-friendly. It didn't have the same video drivers. Everything was really difficult, but it was more secure.
So they were shooting themselves in the foot, huh?
And essentially what we have now, if you get like Windows 10, you have the home version, which would have been equivalent at this time to Windows 98. And then you have the Pro version, right? So you have Windows 10 Pro version, which would have been like NT.
Okay.
So that was more secure. Same type of deal. Now we just call them home and professional editions. But Windows NT, very secure. It was a logon, a lot of authentication process. And we were taking these laptops. Yeah, so we took these executives that were used to this Windows 98 interface, and they had to move over to this NT, and it didn't have the same graphics. I couldn't have my same screensaver on. I couldn't have my background images, and it was more limiting. So it was a big concern for the executives.
Yeah, listen to that.
But we got to move a couple months into 98 into Building 24 on Microsoft campus. So this was across from Building 11. This was a 2-story building. We were now moving on to the main corporate.
Was this an upgrade for you?
Huge upgrade. Now, we were so excited about moving into this new location, and we had these bay windows that were open to a courtyard. So we were on the first floor, huge bay windows that were open into the courtyard so people could sit out there. There's this group called the ITG Move Group that you'd have to normally use to move your equipment. And we said, screw it. We put all of it into Jim's truck. We moved all of the stuff over ourselves when we had the opportunity. And normally it takes like a 4 to 5 day move process. You pack it up. We were there in like 2 hours. Already ready to go. Yep. And we had the keys.
You were really excited about that.
Yeah, we
building,
had the keys to the kingdom, so we could go in and punch down our network adapters and have everything up and running. So we were running immediately. And Building 24 had free pop. This was the time when because we didn't have free pop at Imperial Square, and a cafeteria, our own private cafeteria. Now, it was a 2-story building.
Is that where the Commons is located? Is that somewhere?
Microsoft Commons is now the big centralized cafeteria. But back in the day when we were there, each building, if you were a privileged building, would have its own cafeteria. And so we could go into the cafeteria. We'd have we had the best tuna melt. And let me just tell you, every day, that's chicken strips and fries for $1.50. I could
what does that have to do with tuna melt?
So, well, hang on. So the $1.50 was chicken strips and fries was $1.50, right? And you get 2 pieces of chicken strips and fries. And the tuna melt was every day. The chef would make the tuna melt, and that was $2.50 for a meal. And that came with fries also.
Okay.
So $2.50, I could get a tuna melt. The guy, I would just
I'm
go
not
up.
really excited about tuna melt, so you lost me. You lost me at tuna.
What? Don't you like fried tuna
with
cheese?
Tuna.
Oh, it's fantastic. And then I would just go to the guy, and he knew behind. I can't remember his name now, but I would just do this, and he would start the tuna melt, making it for me ahead of everybody else in line, and then it would be ready in 2 minutes.
Were you wearing your bowling shirt?
No, it wasn't. If I was, they would have served me even quicker. So it was great. So we had free pop. Which, let me just tell you, free pop, they were in cans. And we'll talk about in 19
1998.
1999. There's this thing that happens, and there's a Microsoft. I don't want to spoil it, but what happens is there's a big movie that comes on out, and essentially they put characters on the cans, and they had to disallow people from taking those cans home because people were taking these collectible cans home. But in 1998, you could get as much pop as you want. And so we would create, because we're young kids here working in the studio.
Oh, I know. Soda was our thing.
So we would make towers and see how many tower cans you could put on top of each other. I think we actually got it. And we had drop ceiling, kind of like the room we have right here.
That's my very first apartment, man.
Yeah, we would go through the drop ceiling, because there was drop ceiling there to the second floor, all the way up into the lighting and the cabling, to see how long we could do.
My very first apartment out of high school, I had like this little tiny extra space.
Yeah.
And I built a pyramid of cans through like 3 or 4 months of being there, and my friends would bring over their sodas and beer, and we just had this huge pyramid of cans.
So I know. So we had Coke products. I know we did, and I know we had Mountain Dew. So I don't know if Mountain Dew was a part of the Coke products, but Mountain Dew, and we're young kids here, right? So we're
you're slugging that stuff like
we're just jackrabbing all over.
Crack.
All right, that's correct. So the office move happens. I'm working with 2 other guys in these areas. And the big thing that I have here is I have a Quake hat, because guess what happened in 1997 in December?
Quake 2 came out.
Quake 2 came out.
Oh.
Let me tell you about Quake 2.
Yeah, we've already talked about it.
So Quake 2 came on out, and I was able to secure a DSL line before they were there, because we're executive support.
Is it? Okay.
So we set up a server. We set up a Quake 2 server.
Oh, my God.
And now I had to illegally download the game, because it came out, because this is back when you had to go to like stores and buy the game.
Yeah, and you had to have keys and all this other madness.
Yeah, so guess what happened? In December, Quake 2 comes on out. It sells out. You can't buy it for another like 2 months. But if you have a bulletin board service, you can find it online. So we found it online. We burnt CDs of it illegally. Now we ended up purchasing the ID. John Carmichael or whatever his name is. Don't come after me. I purchased a CD later. But we set up a server, and we had one of the fastest ping times of any of the servers.
Is that how you got to be the number 2 Quake guy?
So
ever?
So then this is what we do, because it was a very stressful job. So we were on 24/7. So anytime anybody needed us,
you were
24.
Was somebody in the office 24 hours a day?
So we'd leave at night, and then we would have these Motorola flip phones, were state of the art, and we had a call ringing system, state of the art call ringing system. They'd never heard about it at the time. We actually worked with a developer to do it so it could simul ring. You know the simul ring thing now that every phone system had? 1998, simul ring did not exist.
So when somebody's computer F's up at 1 a.m. because they're watching something they're not supposed to be watching and get a virus?
Yep. They call us.
They call you.
They call us, and we'd have to answer.
Every single one of you at the same time?
Yep, and it's whoever was on call was expected to answer.
Okay.
If you didn't answer, then it would roll over to the secondary person.
Okay.
And if it got to the secondary person, then that person would call up, "What the heck are you doing, you moron? I'm not supposed to be on primary call. You need to make sure you answer your freaking phone." And
it sounds like you had a lot of those.
No, I was a lot of second time. So I made those calls to the person.
You were the
so
one
what are you
making
doing, Keith? Answer your freaking phone. Oh, I couldn't get to it in time. Yeah, shut up, Keith. You're always smarter than me, but you're always lazier too. So essentially,
Keith's listening to this right
that's
now.
right. Keith,
you're ticking off a lot of people.
Keith was the smartest
the
guy.
hit list is getting longer.
Let me just tell you,
and
Keith was
longer.
the smartest guy I had ever worked with. I would spend hours doing something, and then he'd look over.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah, he'd look over and say, "Hey, did you do this?" No. Where did you know about that? Oh, I just knew about it. Why did you do? I've been working on it for a couple hours. Yeah, I know. So essentially, we had this Quake server. We had it at Microsoft, and I was the administrator to it because Keith too lazy to actually do the work to set up the server. Although he would play, and then we'd all play on it. And since I'm playing on the same server on a DSL line, you got to remember everybody's connecting on Quake 2 on a modem.
On a modem.
A modem.
What if 500, 550 baud modem?
Yeah, because the internet isn't quick enough at the time to do this. So most people, if you did have a fast internet connection,
you're that guy that I hate.
What's that?
When we're doing video games and
I had no ping.
They've got a faster computer than me, so they can hit me 3 times before I can hit them once.
Ping of 4 milliseconds. Now Keith would play on, of course, as I set it up, and he would then still snipe me. And I said, "Well, you should be in my clan," because I created my clan. And he's like, "No, I'll be in a different clan, so I can just beat up on you."
Well, I guess if Keith's listening, he doesn't really care.
Yes, I will tell you this. We were answering phones 24/7. And our motto was, every call could be your last. So anytime you got sent out to go and take care, we would say, okay, well, I'm going to go over and work on maybe the new president's computer because he got promoted. And I go over there, and as soon as you walk out of the room, first thing they say is, have a good time, Nathan. Remember, every call could be your last.
That's funny.
So that was our little motto that we had.
That's funny. So we're going to talk about 1999 next week, huh?
We are. 1999, we get some great stuff. Now, I do become the number 2 all-time champion for Quake in 1998 in the November time frame.
Yeah,
so let
you
me
have the DSL line.
I did. All right, so I'm in the new building.
Now I understand.
We got next month, we're going to be talking about some maybe Xbox stuff in 1998.
Cool.
Just the beginning of that.
Next
All
week.
right.
We're on our countdown.
We are. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the board. Thank you for joining us for Tech Time Radio. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.